I want to show you what programming is like using Snap. Snap can be found at the URL snap.berkeley.edu. It's a work based on Scratch. And so this is the Snap programming screen. Along the left you have commands that you can use, and they're categorized, so you can select the category and then drag blocks over to use the commands in each category. On the right hand side is a work surface where the things that you program will take place. This little arrow looking thing is called a sprite. Down here under the work surface you have a way to add more sprites or to create your own sprite. For now I'm just going to leave the default sprite and work with that. So I'm going to want to make this thing move and turn, and the first thing I want to do is say move. So I'm going to drag this block into the programming space under the scripts tag and say make it move, I don't know, 50 steps. So change the 10 to 50, and when I click that it'll move 50 steps. Well, 50 steps is not a large distance. I'd like it to move a little farther, so I'm going to change 50 to 100. Okay, that's better. You'll notice up here that my sprite is draggable, so I'm going to drag it back to the middle of the screen so that the next time I click on something it won't run off the edge. After it moves 100 steps, I'd like for it to turn, and we'll say turn counterclockwise. So I'm going to drag this block, and I want it to turn 180 degrees. So I'll change the 15 to 180, and now when I click, I'll move and turn. And when I click again, it'll move and turn. Okay, so now I don't have to drag it back to the middle. So let's see, I've got it moving to the right 100 steps, then turning 180. Next time I click, it moves to the left 100 steps and turns 180. So what I really want it to do is travel from the middle to the right, turn around, go all the way to the left, turn around, go back to the middle. So I need to, after turning 180, I need to move it 200 steps. Turn 180. I'm going to do a turn the other way this time. Doesn't matter, I'm just making this up as I go along. And then move 100 steps to get back to the middle. Okay, so I'm going to click on this block and see what happens. Wow, nothing happened. Well, it seems like nothing happened. Actually, it did all those moves so quickly that we couldn't see it. So I can maybe put a pause in between some of these so I can see what it's doing. So I'm going to go to the control category. And wait. So I'm going to take a wait block and put it, I'm going to put it right under the move. Wait, not 1 second, let's say 1/10 of a second. And I want to test just this one amount of wait time to see if it's going to work before I add a bunch more. Okay, I can see it pausing, so I'm going to put some more weights in there. I'm going to put another one after the turn for 1/10 of a second. It's just after every one of these blue blocks, I'm going to put a little 1/10 of a second wait. And see what that looks like. Notice that I can test what I've done so far just by simply clicking on one of the blocks in here. I could also click on the green flag way up there, but that's too far to move. So, now I can see the whole process. Look at this again. Okay, that's wonderful, but I'd like for it to do this multiple times. So I'd like for it to repeat. So I'm going to take this repeat block, bring it in, just put it right there, because I want all those other things to go inside that repeat. So I'm just going to drag. I want to drag all of them. So let's see if I can get them all. There we go. Drag them all, and it will put a little white bar where it's going to insert. So bam, now they're inside that repeat. Let's move it up a little bit. And so, let's see, 10 times is a bit much. Let's just do this 3 times right now. Okay, so I'm going to click on it, and it moves, turns, all that 3 times. But I'd like to do this when I click the green flag, so I'm going to bring this in and put it at the very top. So now I can click this green flag up here, and it does the whole program. Now, did it really do it 3 times? Let's see, I can get, I can set a variable and increase the value of the variable. We call that incrementing the variable, and output the variable onto the screen so we can kind of keep a counter going. So let's do this. Let's go to variables, and I want to make a variable. Oh, this gray block right here, script variables. I can drag this in. I'm going to put it after the start of the program. And I'm going to make a variable called not A, but iterations. Okay, now I need to set the initial value of this, so I'm going to drag this block that says set. I'm going to choose from the drop down the variable I just created, iterations, and I'll set it to 0. Inside this repeat loop, I want to increment the value by 1. So I'm going to choose this block that says change, and I'm going to put it at the end of everything. So this will be, hey, we just did it 1 time. Hey, we just did it another time. So increase the value of iterations by 1. And if I run this, I don't see any counter, so I need to show it. So I'm going to drag this block down, and at the end of each loop, I'm going to show the value of that. So now when I click run, it shows the value. I'll click run again. Oh, but now it's putting one there every time I run this. So I need some way to clear it. Also, I notice it doesn't even print anything until the end. So I'm going to take this show and put it at the top of the loop, see how that goes. And I'm going to hide the variable at the beginning before the loop even starts, because it seems like what was on the screen the last time it ran stays on the screen. So now let's run it. There, they all go away, and it does a proper counter right from the very beginning. Okay, so that's the end of this demo. Again, the purpose was just to show you what programming is like using Snap. Snap is based on Scratch, developed by MIT, and the way you program in each of them is identical. Snap has got a bit more capability than Scratch does. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you find it useful.